And you know, when people kept talking about the event, this isn't an event. This is a movement. You are a movement. And I couldn't be prouder to be here tonight and to say thank you to all of you, to Dennis, to our committee, for planning such an extravagant, extraordinary show of support for Planned Parenthood tonight. And I wanted to give some special hellos, some recognition of our elected officials here. Tonight we have the United States Ambassador Jeanette Hyde here with us, and the U.S. Ambassador James Joseph is here. Our Florida Public Defender Larry Eager. My Palm Beach Mayor Bob Johnson is with us. We have the former Sarasota mayors Molly Cardamone and Marianne Servian. The former mayor and current city commissioners Suzanne Atwell and Susan Chapman. And our Sarasota School Board member Shirley Brown. All of these folks are elected officials with us tonight. But I also want to do a special welcome to our members of the clergy who are with us today. We have the Reverend Dr. Bruce Weismer here, Rabbi Aaron Copeland, Kate Lannerman, who is on the National Board of the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice, and our Unitarian minister, Brock Leach, is also here. United with the clergy for a long time, for it was the clergy that provided the first underground railroad for women to get access to abortion services, because who else but clergy would be there to help women in their time of need. You know, Planned Parenthood is united with the faith community because we seek inclusion and diversity in this Planned Parenthood family, and we value morality and social justice. We are principled, and we stand up for the least of us in our communities. So thank you to our faith leaders for being here. This is a time when I usually give my annual update, the state of the affiliate, and what's been happening since you all were here. But of course, we have so many new folks today. So, you know, last spring, we began preparing for all of these celebrations of our 100 years of service of Planned Parenthood. And we have a lot to brag about because, as we said earlier in the press conference, if you were there, that 2.5 million people are serviced by Planned Parenthood in our 650 health centers across every state in this country. 1 in 5 American women use Planned Parenthood services at some point in their lives for reproductive care that's affordable and accessible. And that was made much stronger by the Affordable Care Act because so many more people could access reproductive health care, preventative care, cancer screenings, birth control, HIV diagnosis, and treatment for STIs. This past year, we also focused on the integration of our merger. And some of you know that a year and a half ago, we merged with Planned Parenthood of Greater Orlando and Planned Parenthood in Collier County. And now we are 22 counties strong in Southwest and Central Florida. We have 160 dedicated employees, a budget of $16 million, and thousands, 16 million. See, those zeros always get to me. $16 million. And thousands of people who stand with us in support of our mission here. We moved our St. Pete Clinic this year to the downtown core, an urban clinic that immediately when we opened our doors, we saw a 30% increase in patients in that health center. We started with services. We started primary care and transgendered care. And we also began the planning for an new health center in northern Tampa, which is one of the fastest growing centers, areas that we have patient population growth. And so hopefully in 3 months we will complete our 12th health center, which means that we have so far this year served 65,000 patient visits in Planned Parenthood of Southwest and Central Florida. So we are extraordinarily proud of the work that we've done. During this first merger, we were able to make budget for the first year. We raised over $5 million to keep our doors open. And we had to keep going, though, through a lot of battles. And if you remember last year, after the terrible smear campaign that tried to take Planned Parenthood down, we were challenged by so many lawsuits. We were in the state courts, and we were in the federal district courts. We were even in the Supreme Court in the state of Florida. But you know what? We persevered, and we won. The legislature that defunded us, the federal court took that ruling down, and we were refunded. And every single thing that happened because we know that the millions of women and men in America, their health care is not a political game, right? We are not in this to play games. We're in to take care of the health care of the people in our communities. And you know that 70% of the people in this country believe that Planned Parenthood should receive federal funding, Medicaid and Title X, to provide the services for those folks who can't afford them. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about Medicaid funding, because the federal government doesn't just write us a check for what we can do, to do whatever we want with it. The federal government provides Medicaid like you all have an insurance card, and you go in and use your insurance card to see your doctor, and when Medicaid patients come to see us, it's fee for service. We get reimbursed, not at the cost of what it actually costs us to do the service, because Florida Medicaid rates are so low. So, Florida's a really stingy state whenever it comes to reimbursing for anything social services. And so not a penny goes towards abortion services, as you know. That is all subsidized and assisted by the generosity of our donors. But people don't know that. And 70% of Americans know that, though, and they are rooting for us to make sure that we don't lose that funding. Right now, when Planned Parenthood is celebrating its 100th anniversary in this country, our population is experiencing the lowest unintended pregnancy rate in 30 years. All-time lows in teen pregnancy in this country, and the lowest rate of abortion since Roe v. Wade was passed in 1973. And that's why, the day after the inauguration, millions of women took to the streets because they know what's at stake. We had 500,000 women in D.C., we had 17,000 people in Tallahassee in a rainstorm, 10,000 people in Sarasota, 3,000 people in Naples, 20,000 people in Tampa and St. Petersburg, 10,000 people in Orlando. You know that anyone who wants women to be healthy and have children when they are ready, and anyone who believes that birth control, cancer screenings, and HIV and STI diagnosis and treatment should be affordable, you should all be terrified about a world without Planned Parenthood. Because what is the world going to look like? What are the rates going to look like if Planned Parenthood loses its funding? And that's why your voice must be heard. You people in this room, you're the thought leaders in this community. You're our business leaders, our medical leaders, the leaders of philanthropy and education and public service. You need to stand with Planned Parenthood and make sure this doesn't happen. Will you stand with Planned Parenthood? Thank you. Greg Stubbe. Yes, Greg Stubbe is not a friend of Planned Parenthood. He's really not much of a friend to a lot of us, and so he needs to hear from you. He needs to hear that you support Planned Parenthood, all of you in this community. And we also need to be in touch with our Congressman, Vern Buchanan, because right now Vern Buchanan is on a committee that can help stop this defunding of Planned Parenthood. I'm going to give you his phone number because I want all of you tonight to call Vern Buchanan and tell him that you were at a sold-out Planned Parenthood event and Sarasota supports Planned Parenthood. Take out your pencils. Vern Buchanan's phone number, 202-225-5015. And you can leave a message, and please call Vern because he knows a lot of you, and it will mean a whole lot to our patients and to our community to have your voices be heard as you stand with Planned Parenthood.
Oh yeah. Everybody's calling.
Okay, you got your pencils ready. 202-225-5015. And the reason you don't have this at your place setting is this just started yesterday with the opportunity for these hearings to happen because things are moving so fast. But right now, I want to give a shout out to the team at Planned Parenthood who keeps going no matter what. No matter protesters, no matter opportunities to, for people to defame Planned Parenthood, our staff across the picket lines, they're there every day to keep our doors open, and I'd like them to stand up and be recognized. The staff of Planned Parenthood, 160 strong. Tonight we have people, our staff who are here from Orlando and Sarasota and Naples and Venice and Tampa, St. Petersburg. These are people that all work so hard, and I especially want to thank Randy and Samantha, our events team, dynamic duo, for the work that they did getting this all together. Tomorrow is a really special day for reproductive health care services. It is the opening of the celebration, if you will, of the work of abortion providers in America. And abortion providers are a very special part of our community and are some of the most courageous and compassionate people that I know. And we have a number of our staff here tonight who are doctors who work with Dr. Susie Prabhakaran and help the patients in 9 of our health centers that provide abortion services. And it's so, I think, important and appropriate for me to be able to introduce our special guest tonight, who's going to talk to you about his service taking care of patients. Dr. Willie Parker is an obstetrician and gynecologist who serves in some of the hardest areas of poverty in this country. And he's been a mentor to many of us, a partner to all of us, and certainly a savior to so many women who come to him who need to have a compassionate physician care for them in places where no other doctors will go. And so it's my very great pleasure and deep honor to introduce to you Dr. Willie Parker. Please come on up, Willie. His resume and bio is in His resume is in your program, so you can read a little about it, but I'm going to bring him up here with me